Fieldhouse, Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor, the largest college football stadium in America, will be filled well beyond capacity today as the 12th ranked Michigan Wolverines play host to number 7 Michigan State. Here come the Wolverines, ready for one of the most anticipated games in the 89-year history of this stadium. Michigan, one of the pleasant surprises, one of the great stories of this college football season. They're 5-1 on the heels of a 5-7 season a year ago. Lost their opener at Utah, a team that's now ranked number 4 in America. They've won 5 in a row since, 3 of them, the last 3, by shutout. And one of the features of this great venue, both teams enter through the same tunnel, making their way onto the field. The Michigan State Spartans were ranked as high as number 2 earlier this season, but some narrow wins in the last couple of weeks against Purdue and last week at Rutgers, and they're now ranked number 7. And the Spartans take the field. It's always big when these two schools get together, even bigger than usual this time around. They started playing in 1898. Michigan leads the all-time series comfortably. And the common denominator in the last 4 decades has been the team that has rushed for the most yards has won the game. It's 42 out of the last 45 games. Since Mike Hart's comment, as Tom Rinaldi told you, Michigan State has won 6 of the last 7 and has taken home the Paul Bunyan Trophy. Hi, everybody, and welcome. Sean McDonough, along with the College Football Hall of Famer Chris Spielman, joined in a moment by Todd McShay. Delighted to have you with us. So he said it's always a big game, particularly this year for the first time since 2003. Both teams are ranked in the top 15, and that seems hard to believe when you think back to a year ago when Michigan was 5-7. Jim Harbaugh doing remarkable work in his first season here.
Well, he inherited a pretty good defense last year, and the defense is playing great this year. You can think about it now, Sean. 59 straight drives without giving up a point. Well, how are they doing that? Well, one, they don't make mental mistakes, so they're stout mentally. Physically, they're excellent at tackling. The offense controls the football, which helps their defense. And the coverage teams, kickoff coverage and punt coverage, have been outstanding, making the opponent take the long field. That's why their defense is where it is.
They've posted 3 straight shutouts, the first team at the top level of college football to do that since Kansas State in '95, giving up just 6.3 points per game, and they're second in the country in total defense, giving up 181 yards per game. Only Boston College has been better in total defense. The last time Michigan had 3 straight shutouts was way back in 1980. But they'll get their toughest test today against their in-state rival Michigan State at 6-0, and they'll face by far the best quarterback they've seen this year in Connor Cook. Down on the field, here's Todd McShay.
Sean, Connor Cook plays the quarterback position the way it's supposed to be played. He gets to the line of scrimmage, he sets his protections. He does a really good job of checking out of bad plays, and then he also does a very nice job with his eyes of manipulating coverage. And because of those things, he's great versus the blitz. You're going to see here against Rutgers last week. He set his protection properly, but Rutgers does a nice job, and they overload the right side of the field for him. He knows now, because there's an extra rusher, it's on him to get the ball out, and he's got to make a smart decision. So quickly, he scans the field. The safety is staying in the middle of the field, so he knows he has that vertical sideline route. Perfect throw, puts it up, lets his receiver go and get it. Now, what's really interesting, and here's where it gets interesting, I should say, Michigan defensive coordinator DJ Durkin, very adept at disguising blitzes and mixing up his concepts. Plus, the Spartan offensive line's been banged up recently, so this is going to be a fun one to watch.
Michigan won the toss and deferred, so they'll kick off and get that defense on the field first. Temperature near 50 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Very little breeze in the stadium at the moment. And Kenny Allen, a good kickoff. It's a touchback. So here comes Connor Cook, the winningest quarterback in the history of Michigan State. 60% completions this season, and just 2 interceptions thrown to go along with 12 touchdown passes. But the number that stood out to Jim Harbaugh when we visited with him yesterday was Cook's career record of 29-3. as the Michigan State starting quarterback. He's the winningest active quarterback in the country. L.J. Scott, the freshman, is the lone running back. And it's a play action fake and a throw on the run for Cook, incomplete.
So Sean, as we watch this football game, one of the key matchups will be an outstanding wide receiver core for the Spartans going up against a defensive backfield that really plays tight coverage. They eliminate yards after catch, and both sets of positions are playing at a very high level.
A rare pass on first down for Michigan State. They're about 75% run on first down. Back to the ground. L.J. Scott trying to find a hole, and he gets buried short of the line of scrimmage. One issue for Michigan State all season long has been the health of its offensive line. They thought they'd have one of the best in the country with several returning standouts. This is the way they line up today. Jack Conklin, who missed the last two, is back at left tackle. Benny McGowan at left guard. Brian Allen is the center. Donovan Clark at right guard, and Cody Keeler at right tackle. They're without Jack Allen, their All-American center, and the older brother of Brian Allen, who will not play today with an ankle injury suffered last week at Rutgers.
And they've had trouble handling any type of blitz movement up front.
Michigan, the best third down defense in the country. Cook going deep and has him in. Aaron Burbridge for a first down. They'll mark him out right at the 50-yard line. Gain of 27 and a first down for Michigan State.
Well, it starts with the protection of handling the blitz, but we're going to have right here just a takeoff route from the inside, getting depth, and a great throw, Todd, by Connor Cook, putting it on the back shoulder.
And that's what we've seen all season from him, hanging in the pocket when protection's there, really poised and understanding that he can trust his offensive line and then getting the ball out just in time.
Mentioned Michigan's strength on defense on third down, but Michigan State's 50% on offense on third down, and that's 8th best in the country. L.J. Scott got a yard before he got driven back by Ryan Glasgow in the middle of that front three. Dominantly a 3-4 look on defense for Michigan. Mentioned the numbers. They are a run-heavy first down team coming into today's game. 139 runs on first down, just 45 passes. Mark Dantonio, in his 9th season as head coach at Michigan State. Cook stumbled coming away from center and goes down for about a 4-yard loss.
Don't see that very often from a veteran. Usually an offensive lineman is going to step on his foot. You see right there, Brian Allen, the new center for his brother Jack Allen, with a set step with his right foot, trips up Connor Cook.
Brian Allen has played plenty of center. He's also played guard. His older brother Jack said, Brian is much better at 100% than I would be at 60%. And that's one reason why Jack Allen won't play today with the ankle injury. Third down and 13. Michigan brings a blitz, and Cook got away for a moment and then threw it away.
Well, DJ Durkin is creative. They're going to bring pressure from the outside. Now Connor Cook is responsible for one of the blitzers on the outside. He takes care of that. But Godin, number 99, finishes him off to force the overthrow.
And give that one to Godin. Great job of keeping contained on the outside. That allows you to blitz and take some chances when you know your defensive front are going to keep gap containment.
Tyler O'Connor is the punter. He's a new punter. Punted once last week as Jack Hartbarger struggled. It has for much of the season. And O'Connor's first punt today is not very good. Just 26 yards. Big edge coming in special teams, one would expect from Michigan. They played much better in those areas than Michigan State has so far this year. The Michigan quarterback is the 5th-year senior Jake Brudock from Weston, Florida and South Florida. Graduate transfer from Iowa. Will play just the one season here at Michigan. Got off to a shaky start. Turnover plagued in the opener at Utah. He's been much more solid since as he gets more comfortable in the new system and with his new teammates. Busting through the middle, Sione Homa, the fullback, across midfield and down. They'll spot him down at the 45-yard line of Michigan State. The true freshman safety, Grayson Miller, might have saved the touchdown.
Harbaugh says, hey, guess what? We're going to put in a fullback trap at the first day of spring practice. Michigan State didn't think about it. Quick hitter by Homa, who burst through the hole. Excellent kick-out block by the pulling guard. Homa's getting a lot of play. Splitting time with Joe Carriage. Good blocker, special teams guy, getting rewarded with the run.
Grayson Miller, a true freshman from Georgetown, Kentucky. They're also beat up in the secondary. Pressure. Jake Rudock threw it up for grabs. A ricochet. And Davion Smith couldn't catch it. Lawrence Thomas right on his belly. Shalik Calhoun, wearing number 43 today, put the pressure on Rudock.
A smart play by Shalik Calhoun, also going low to avoid any type of head hit. Thomas with the deflection. One thing you can say about Michigan State's defense, they run and pursue the football. So any type of misdirection, reverse jet sweep or something like that, Michigan do that to counter the pursuit of that Spartan defense.
Ed Davis hurt early in their preseason practices, a knee injury. Was preseason All Big Ten. Played the whole season without him. Karan Higdon, the freshman, into the game. Joel Heath made the tackle. And I think, Chris, it's indicative of how far the program of Michigan State has come in recent years under Mark Dantonio. Because of the success, they've been able to recruit not only better players, but more terrific players. He said before Notre Dame, Ohio State, Michigan, they were going to get the guys that they wanted to get, and we'd get the others. Now they're in there with those schools on the very best players. They have a lot of depth.
Yeah, and they do that, and Sean, and also that they do a great job of identifying what a Spartan is and developing that talent once it gets to campus.
Jake Rudock dumps it off, complete. A.J. Williams, the tight end. Marked out of bounds at the 23-yard line.
It's a good job of A.J. Williams being patient coming across, and everybody loses coverage because they're playing man. And when you lose big A.J. Williams sneaking across the field, the result's a first down. That's the first mental error for the Spartans defense.
Jim Harbaugh loves the tight ends. His tight ends have got 36 passes already this year. No score into the first quarter at the Big House. On to the second quarter we go at the Big House in Ann Arbor. No score. Number 7 Michigan State and number 12 Michigan. Jake Rudock just completed a 21-yard pass to A.J. Williams. First and 10 Michigan from the state 23. Ty Isaac, the transfer from USC, his first carry of the day, down to the 20 for a pickup of 3. John Reschke made the tackle, and he's done nice work as the fill-in for Ed Davis at linebacker this year.
He's getting better with each game, and Reschke, a very instinctive player. Boy, it's nice for both teams, Sean. They have a stable of tailbacks, so they have the luxury of riding a hot hand. The guy isn't going, it's the next guy up, and that usually motivates that player.
Karan Higdon, the running back now, true freshman from Sarasota. Rudock, the play fake to him, throws on the run, open receiver, and a first down. J.U. Chesson, his first catch, first by a wide receiver for Michigan today. Good for 11 yards.
It's a good job by J.U. Chesson settling down, finding the open space, and Rudock able to throw across his body accurately, Todd.
Yeah, and Rudock hanging in there. We've seen a lot more patience, poise, and confidence out of him in the last few games. He's finally starting to get this offense. He knows where receivers are going to pop open, and that was a great example right there.
Well, his receivers and Jake are starting to see the same thing, which they did not do earlier on when we were here against BYU.
First and goal from the 8. Davion Smith breaks tackles and bowls his way down to the 2-yard line. Arjun Colhoun chopped him down for Michigan State.
Everybody knows what Davion Smith brings to the table. Yards after contact, toughness, and always falling forward. An excellent job by that offensive line handling that front 7 of Michigan State on that particular play. That's what he's known for, toughness, grit. That's what his team's known for right now.
Leone Homa down to the goal line, in for a touchdown.
There's something to be said about confidence in your team and your offensive line. Running a fullback dive from that far off is a symbol to his team and to the players and to Jim Harbaugh that we're going to win the physical battle and we're going to prove it to you.
A.J. Williams, a 21-yard catch. Kenny Allen kicks the extra point. Seven 0 Michigan early in the second quarter in Ann Arbor. 7 straight games over 100 yards for Leonard Fournette. Of course, Florida playing without the suspended quarterback Will Greer tonight.
Yeah, a lot of times, Sean, when you lose a player like that, that can galvanize your football team. We'll see if they'll rally around.
Returnable kick. Kenny Allen's kick down to R.J. Shelton at the 2. R.J. Shelton, a nice run back. 29-yard kickoff return officially for R.J. Shelton. And now Connor Cook took them on a drive of more than 8 minutes before they turned it over on downs the last time they had the ball. Gerald Holmes, tough run. Looked like they had him stacked up at the line of scrimmage. He squirted ahead 4-7. Connor Cook slides down under a hit, and now there's a flag perhaps for that second hit. Looked like he ducked under the first one, but then got hit late after he slid to the ground.
It's a good concept and a good call by Dave Warner, the offensive coordinator. The running game's being stifled. Spread him out and run the Q run, which was a nice little counter trap set up for Connor Cook.
Personal foul, plus targeting, defense.
Ooh.
15 yards from the end of the run, automatic first down.
That's a tough call on a kid like that. I mean, it looked to me like he was forced into and pulled down by Conklin, who's just doing his job trying to finish his block. That's a no call. Let it go.
Golden still at about 30 yards to go to get to the tunnel. Michigan State 1st and 10 of the 24. The slant good for another first down to Aaron Burbridge. And for the first time in 4 games, the opponent is in the red zone against Michigan.
This time a notch goes to Burbridge, beating Jordan Lewis on a nice little inside cut on inside release. Jordan Lewis cannot give up that inside to the wide side of the field. He get a pre-snap read on Burbridge's split, who was outside the numbers to run that slant. Cut off that inside.
13-yard gain, already 6 receptions for Burbridge, senior from Farmington Hills, Michigan. L.J. Scott finds a hole, finds the end zone. Touchdown, Spartans. L.J. Scott, already his 7th rushing touchdown of the year. He scored the game winner in the final minute last week at Rutgers. Michael Geiger the extra point. And a big turn of events. Michigan State has tied it, and a controversial call has sent Michigan's leading tackler out for the rest of the game. Sean McDonough, Chris Spielman, Todd McShay back at Michigan Stadium. First points allowed by the Michigan defense since their 4th quarter of their game against UNLV. 3 straight shutouts since, and more than a quarter and a half today before they allow points on the touchdown by L.J. Scott, freshman from Hubbard, Ohio, who grew up an Ohio State fan. Was recruited by the Buckeyes, but he said when he visited Michigan State it felt like home to him. J.U. Chesson back deep for the kickoff from Kevin Cronin. Jabril Peppers will handle it. Jabril Peppers And again, the coverage woes continue for the Spartans. So sound on special teams throughout the Mark Dantonio era, but by his own admission, very shaky this year, and the problems continue.
The kickoff return is like running an offensive running play. Everybody's assigned a man in a gap. Nobody blocking behind the football. Jabril Peppers explosive with the ball in his hands. They win a lot of games. That's how they're built. Play special teams, play defense, run the ball, don't turn it over. That's their identity.
49-yard kickoff return. A great field position for Jake Rudock in the Michigan offense from the Spartans 48. He comes out throwing and fires a deep ball, caught at the 25. J.U. Chesson.
Part of the game plan, playing Michigan State, attack the middle of the field on first down with downfield throwing. They want to get their safeties involved in their running game. You got J.U. Chesson matched up on Grayson Miller, and it's no match. And a great throw and a great read by Rudock.
Yeah, that's part of what makes Rudock so smart. He recognized that mismatch early and was able to get the ball right where it had to go.
Attack them in the middle of the field. If their safeties are going to be up, go at them deep.
23-yard gain. Back to the ground with Davion Smith. 2nd and 5 Michigan. Rudock play action. Couldn't find anybody. Chased by Joel Heath and threw it short and incomplete for Karan Higdon.
A little bit of growth right there in the offense for Jake Rudock. Not trying to force the football. Understanding the situation and throw it away. Live another down. Smart.
Third down and 5. Jim Harbaugh involved in the play calling with the offensive coordinator Tim Drebno. Rudock steps into the throw and it's incomplete. John Reschke had the coverage. Intended for Jake Butt. The field goal team is going to come out for Michigan.
Well, discipline as not only as an offensive player but as a defensive player. They run a little smash route. Reschke does a good job of understanding that he has underneath coverage coming in with that right arm to knock it away. Excellent.
Big concern at the start of the year for Jim Harbaugh was the field goal team. Really every facet of the operation. Kenny Allen's a new kicker. He's had a very good start to his senior season. Walk-on put on scholarship at the beginning of the year. Now 8 out of 10 as he boots a 38-yard field goal. And Michigan answers quickly. 10-7 Wolverines. 5:34 to go in the first half. There's Mark Dantonio, 6-2 against the Wolverines. Lost the first one in 2007. Mike Hart uttered those famous words about Michigan State being the Wolverines' little brother. Dantonio and the Spartans have won 6 out of 7 since. R.J. Shelton out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Well, you would think here Michigan State would be very conservative with only one timeout. Gerald Holmes almost busted one. Yanked down by Channing Stribling. And now Mark Dantonio says with that play, let's pick up the pace a little bit.
No, I think you got to be very careful in this type of situation. You played well in the first half. You weathered some storms. You want to make sure you make good decisions and not give the Wolverines any momentum.
And that will be the last play of the half, you would think. Ryan Glasgow and DeMonte Thomas combine on the stop. Michigan State had the ball for 19 minutes to 11 for Michigan, but managed just 7 points. 10-7 Wolverines at the break. Now the Lexus halftime report. From Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor, 108th meeting all time between Michigan State and Michigan leads by 3 at the half, despite the fact that the Wolverines had only 4 first downs and 95 yards of offense, more than an 8-minute disadvantage in time of possession. I guess it's really indicative, Chris, of the way both of these teams play. They do enough to win the game and don't turn it over. Neither team turned it over in that first half.
Yeah, Michigan State did score when they had good field position on a poor punt, so they were able to capitalize on that. Sean, what we're seeing is great defense. I mean, we don't see this week in and week out, and something that should be appreciated. Not a lot of missed assignments, and excellent tackling, and very physical football game. I think for the second half of Michigan State's offense, Connor Cook has to start targeting some other wide receivers. He's targeted Burbridge 10 times, connected on 6 of them, but you need to get other players involved in this offense for it to operate at its full efficiency.
Cook had 8 out of 16 in the first half. No touchdowns or interceptions, just 1 for 4 when Michigan blitzed. Joe Bolden, leading tackler for the season for Michigan, ejected for targeting in the first half. He will not play in the second half. James Ross, though, will join the team. He had to watch the first half from the locker room. He was allowed to warm up before the game, but was not on the sideline by rule in the first half. He'll play in the second half. And Ben Gideon, who's a backup linebacker, DJ Durkin says they consider him like a starter. He plays a lot, and he'll get a lot of the playing time for Bolden.
And Ben Gideon's more of an inside backer than an outside backer, and that's what he was playing in replacement of Ross. He'll be back to his natural position.
Kevin Cronin kicks off. Jabril Peppers from the 4. He got flattened. Monte Nicholson, the big hit, shy of the 25-yard line. Here's Todd McShay.
In that first half, Michigan was outgained by the Spartans, but they had hidden yards and special teams, and they took advantage of big opportunities. Here, you're going to see, we talked about earlier in the game, when Michigan State brings a safety down, Jake Rudock recognizes it and takes a shot down the middle of the field towards the right side and is able to connect on it. Here, on a big third down after a timeout, taking advantage, getting it to his big tight end, 84, A.J. Williams, running down the sideline. Converting in key situations will be huge again for this Michigan team in the second half.
Being efficient in their play calling and choices of where to throw the football.
Ty Isaac is the running back on the first play of the second half, and John Reschke stopped him very close to the line of scrimmage. Lawrence Thomas also in on the play for Michigan State. Here's number 8, former linebacker and fullback at Michigan State. He's settled in at defensive end, and he's a good one.
It's a natural position for him. Very athletic, tough matchup for an offensive tackle and tight end.
Davion Smith now back in at running back. Joe Carriage is the fullback. Smith stopped just short of the first down by Riley Bulla. Third generation Spartan. Grandfather Hank, father Shane, brother Max all played at MSU.
A nice job of Ben Braden with a kick out block. Davion Smith, he will run north and south, and he tries to punish the tackler. Much rather be the hitter rather than a hittee.
And Graham Glasgow, nice job there, the center. He's improved as this season's progressed, and I think they're going to try to run the football behind him. I think he's had one of his best career games today.
He's a next level center in my eyes, Todd.
Third down, less than a yard. They hand it off to the fullback Carriage, and Michigan State was ready for that. I don't think he got to the first down marker.
It's an all-out sellout by Michigan State. Pinching in all the defensive linemen. You're going to see Shalik Calhoun, number 43, coming down and beating the block of Poggi and cutting him off. Outstanding get-off by Shalik Calhoun. That's what makes him such a dangerous player, is his great get-off. And Poggi has no shot at cutting him off on the inside.
80-yard punt in the first quarter for Blake O'Neill, the longest punt of the year in college football at the top level. R.J. Shelton caught this one, goes out of bounds at the 29-yard line. L.J. Scott, the ball carrier on first down. But in notes to the rule, targeting means a player takes aim at an opponent for purposes of attacking with forcible contact. In the opinion of the replay official, Tom Kissinger, he backed up what the official saw on the field. And I think one of the points to be made, Chris, the it's a point of emphasis, and the rule book says if in doubt, it's a foul.
Yeah, it is. But the point I had was that Jack Conklin is finishing his block, doing his job, kind of push Bolden down into it. And I've had 325 pounds push me. And there's nothing you can do to stop that when that happens.
And in the opinion of the replay booth and the officials on the field, Bolden still intentionally turned his head and away to target. R.J. Shelton, incomplete pass. Crowd thought it might be a lateral, but it's an incomplete forward pass as Shelton dropped the ball from Connor Cook.
A little different formation to start this series for Michigan State. The play you got to be able to make. Jabril Peppers splits the double team, but if he times that right, he's at least 3 yards down the field. But look at number 5, Jabril Peppers. They're so valuable to this team. He can play man-to-man. He returns. He's an outstanding open field tackler. And he plays with great instincts at that safety position.
Did not appear that Shelton had possession. Incomplete pass. 3rd down and 8.
Burbridge has been his target guy, Sean, up here at the top. That's the matchup.
Cook looks in that direction, throws down the seam off the hand of Burbridge and incomplete.
Well, this is the matchup. I mean, this is your money guy on a money down. He beats Jordan Lewis inside and goes up with one hand when he should have went up with 2.
And I just think all day long, Chris, we've seen these Michigan defensive backs be more physical than the Michigan State wide receivers. And there, you're right, you've got to go up with 2 hands, and I couldn't tell from my angle if Lewis was holding his arm down or not.
He did, Sean. Jordan Lewis did a great job, Todd did do a great job of pinning that arm against the body fake.
Here's a fake. The backup quarterback and new punter, Tyler O'Connor, dives from the marker. It doesn't look like he got there. Well, Jim Harbaugh said during the week and again yesterday, when you play against Mark Dantonio, particularly in big games, you have to be very alert for trick plays and fakes and special teams. So they had this in mind, that it was a distinct possibility starting today.
We're short of the line to gain. First down.
We called this. We knew what Jim Harbaugh told us in his history. A trick play was coming in special teams. I thought he should have threw the football. He had Medeiros open. Number 88 right here is going to be open on an out cut. Now he thought he had the ability to use his speed to get to that first down. But again, when you're playing man-to-man, and there's great effort by Desmond Bolden to come on, Morgan to come make that play. I mean, that's a senior making a great play in a great game. Beautiful effort, both guys.
So the fake doesn't work, and I'm with you. It looked like the pass play was the better option. O'Connor on the run didn't want to try it. From the 38. Davion Smith to the 30 for a gain of 8. Darian Harris made the tackle, and it goes back to the point made by Todd McShay at the half. Not a lot of production on offense, but special teams have helped flip the field, and they've taken advantage of the short field this afternoon.
Yeah, it's not a bad call by Coach Dantonio, because your defense is playing well, and you got to expect to challenge them to hold up.
Smith on 2nd and 2, first down. To the 26-yard line. Joel Heath made the tackle.
Does this guy ever lose a yard? I mean, every single time we've watched, this is our 3rd game now. Every tape we've watched, Chris, he's just so good at running behind his pads and finishing runs.
Yeah, and guess what's happening too? The offensive line is starting to gain confidence, and they're starting to win and sustain blocks a little bit longer than they did in the first half.
With the offense, they flip it to him. Rudock did. Jabril Peppers down the sideline and shoved out inside the 5.
Sometimes value is off what you do. Davion Smith is going to get the key block to spring Peppers on a jet sweep. Team defense.
We saw earlier, Chris, 2 timeouts called when Peppers was on the field. And I just watched the defensive back, starting with Arjun Colhoun, talking to all the other DBs, saying, watch the double pass, watch the double pass. So I think just the fear of that there led to the defense playing with a lot of discipline and gave him the opportunity to turn the corner.
He hadn't played on offense until today. Davion Smith reaches for the goal line. Touchdown, Michigan. Peppers got 28, and then Davion Smith the final 3. Let's make sure it was a touchdown.
Right knee looked like he was down about at the 1-yard line.
So the fake punt stopped a yard short. Michigan goes 38 yards for Homa's second touchdown of the game, and the extra point is good for Kenny Allen. 9:17 to go, third quarter. Michigan leading 17-7. Michigan now leads 17-7. We mentioned at the top of the telecast 42 of the last 45 years. The team that has rushed for the most yards has won the game. Neither team piling up big numbers on the ground, but Michigan with the slight edge. It's still a long way to go. 9:17 left, third quarter. Kenny Allen kicks off. R.J. Shelton couldn't field it. Undefeated, as is Michigan State, 2-0 in Big Ten play entering today. Gerald Holmes picked his way to the 28, a gain of 3. Chris Wormley made the tackle.
I think right now, if you're Michigan State, you want to operate maybe a little quicker tempo. I know that's not who you are, but sometimes it'll help your quarterback get in a rhythm, because right now, this offense and this quarterback, there's been no rhythm established throughout the whole game.
And Chris, you got to beat man coverage. I mean, at this point, it really comes down to that, because you're allowing them to walk up safeties and get flexible and do a bunch of things defensively. These receivers have to get open.
Cook the inside fake and throws complete to Burbridge. It's been almost the entire focus for Cook among the wide receiver core. Jordan Lewis made the tackle at the 41.
And at least he gains a little bit of separation and gives Cook a tight little window to throw the ball into. Does a nice job putting it there. They need to continue to do this, whether it's rub routes, bunch formation. They've got to find ways to get these receivers open, because right now it's their only form of offense, but they're not effectively separating consistently enough.
And Michigan is eliminating any yards after catch. If they do catch it, they're right on them right now.
Connor Cook, design roll, has some running room, instead throws. Is that a catch at the 32-yard line? No, out of bounds. Intended for R.J. Shelton. Cook had a lot of running room along the near sideline.
Well, it's a good job. Ooh. It's close. I don't know if his toe was on the sidelines or not. R.J. Shelton working back to the football. That left foot is in bounds in toe, and it should be a catch.
So many
Further
turnovers.
review, the pass was completed at the sideline at the 32-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line on the right hash. The clock will start on the ready for play.
And one of the things that they're cracking down on is the sideline, and DJ Durkin there needs to be careful in that white space.
Yeah, you can get in trouble for that. Now they can flag you for sideline interference. Now he's getting back out of the white, and again, I think they get a warning first and then let him go.
There's Greg Madison. DJ Durkin said he's learned a tremendous amount throughout the years from Greg Madison, one of the great D-line coaches in America as well. Gerald Holmes, the ball carrier. That's a big ruling from the replay booth, a 27-yard gain.
Well, Michigan State's used to this type of game. Sean, they played in tight games all year. You know, Connor Cook tends to thrive in these type of situations, and they certainly have to answer the last punch that Michigan threw with Homa's touchdown.
Well, it hasn't been easy or pretty on the way to 6-0, but as Mark Dantonio says, every week we found a way to win, and that's the bottom line. Find a way to win. Cook, the pump fake, has a man open. Touchdown, Michigan State. McGarrett Kings.
Talked about spreading the ball around. McGarrett Kings beats number 34 Clark on a little double move. An outstanding patience. Here's the double move. Just a little post corner route. Clark jumps it. Connor Cook delivers a strike, Todd.
Yeah, he dropped it right in there. Perfect spot in the ball, perfect timing. The second he saw that cornerback take just a tiny bit of a false step, that ball was out.
Quick strike for Michigan State. 75 yards in 5 plays, and the extra point good from Michael Geiger. Connor Cook, the touchdown pass. It's a 3-point game in Ann Arbor. They've been playing since 1898. Since 1953, they played for the Paul Bunyan Trophy. Coincided with Michigan State joining the Big Ten. 4-foot-high statue of the legendary figures. The school flags attached to the bottom. The trophy was transported from Michigan State's trophy room today to the locker room. They hope to take it back to East Lansing. They won 6 of the last 7 against Michigan, matching their best 7-game stretch. Michigan State's never won 7 out of 8. They're within 3 after the touchdown. Kevin Cronin rolled the kickoff down, trying to help the coverage. Doesn't help much. J.U. Chesson all the way to the 36. Rudolph's thrown only 11 passes. He's completed 8 for 80 yards. Most importantly, he has not turned it over. Rudock surveys the field, lofts one a little short, but on target for Amara Darboh.
Really good job by Michigan, realizing the pass rush has been an issue, as Chris had mentioned. They kept Jake Butt in and allowed them to have enough guys on that side to really take care of Calhoun and the extra rushers.
You're putting too much pressure on Grayson Miller right there. You've got to be able to disrupt his timing down that field. Grayson Miller's caught flat-footed, and Darboh just runs by him. Ball's underthrown, but Darboh made great adjustment on the catch.
Thrown in the right place. It might have been a touchdown. It's a 32-yard gain instead. Davion Smith stuffed to the line of scrimmage. Damon Knox, a backup in that front 4. Number 93, senior from Muskegon, Michigan. Chris, that's 3 more pass plays given up by the Michigan State defense today of 20 yards or more. 29 for the year in this, their 7th game of the season, against a Michigan team that's really struggled to make throws down the field so far this year.
They've attacked the middle of the field at the safety position, but you got to help those guys by jamming inside receivers. Corner blitz.
Rudock surrounded, got it off, intended for J.U. Chesson. He got tangled up, and there is a flag thrown. John Reschke, the linebacker, running in coverage with the wide receiver Chesson, one of the speediest players in the Big Ten. He runs a 10-300.
Well, he knows where to attack. The corner blitz from Demetrius Cox.
Pass interference. Defense number 33. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
It's J.U. Chesson right here in the backfield. You know the corner blitz is coming here. Jake Rudock's going to make that read right off the get-go. Understanding, again, the matchup that he wants when you have J.U. Chesson on Reschke. You'll take that all day. And actually a pretty smart play by Reschke of getting him down as opposed to getting beat by 6. But there's the growth of Jake Rudock in this offense, recognizing the corner blitz and where to attack.
2 fullbacks on the field. Rudock, lots of time, can't find anybody open. Running out of time and throws it away in the general direction of Jake Butt. A tough throw under duress, and running to his left is a right-handed thrower. And another spirited rush from Shalik Calhoun. But the difference in the offensive line, Chris, from last year to this year is remarkable. It's basically the same guys. They're all veterans with at least 18 career starts. But the year's worth of experience, very important, according to Tim Drevno, the new offensive line coach. But I think he's being modest too. He's instilled with Jim Harbaugh of toughness.
Yeah, and they got tired. They have a lot of pride, and they're playing tougher.
Dumped off and batted down. He's trying to set it up for Davion Smith over the middle. Joel Heath knocked it away.
He had him too, because you had Glasgow, the center, right on Riley Bullitt. And watch this, Sean. This is wide open. This is Heath saves the day. Look at Glasgow going to come right out here and pick up Riley Bullitt. And see all that space right there? That was a touchdown saving bat down by Heath. Wow.
It's a goal to go situation from the 18-yard line. 3rd down. They are in field goal range.
Don't take a sack.
Michigan State brings pressure and a wide open receiver. J.U. Chesson wrestled across the boundary by Demetrius Cox at the 3-yard line. It'll be 4th down and goal from the 3. And the field goal unit is coming out for Jim Harbaugh.
Beautiful job of picking up pressure. Michigan State was protecting the goal line, which left about 8 yards short of the goal line, wide open, and putting your field goal kicker in position for an easier kick. Wonderful job by that offensive line.
Kenny Allen, tough angle for a short field goal from the right hash mark. 21-yarder. He's 1 for 1 today. And it is right down the middle. 2:06 to go, 3rd quarter. In the Battle of Michigan, the Wolverines leading the Spartans 20-14. Take the
Okay.
Kenny Allen's kickoff down by R.J. Shelton. Okay. His return to action, he felt helped elevate his team. Good catch. We talked about how last week those wide receivers made one big catch after another. It's McGarrett Kings again with Channing scribbling on it.
Well, this is a great adjustment by the Michigan State offense and Connor Cook of getting other receivers involved. Well-placed ball, Todd.
And Cook just doesn't waste time if he doesn't need to waste time. He recognizes what he wants right away and gets the ball out. Now they're going a little tempo.
As Chris suggested earlier, they might try to get in a little rhythm. They don't typically do it. R.J. Shelton crossed midfield. Marked out at the 49, chased out by Jabril Peppers. It's a team in Michigan State that likes to work the clock like Michigan. Last year they led the country in time of possession. As a matter of fact, since the start of the 2013 season, Michigan State's led the country in time of possession.
Here's the reason why you go rhythm, because then you force the defense to show their hand a little bit in with coverage, which gives an easier pre-snap read to Connor Cook and where he wants to go with the ball.
Under a minute to go in the 3rd quarter. Delton Williams. Which they lost Jeremy Langford to the NFL after last season.
Michigan brought in Golden, an extra defensive lineman, took out of the safety. Goal line on goal line.
3rd down and 2. Power football. Who'll win the battle at the line of scrimmage? This time it's Michigan. Williams stacked up. James Ross, who did not play in the first half with a targeting suspension a week ago. There is a flag down. Jordan Lewis up from his defensive back position.
After the play was over, unnecessary roughness. Defense number 69.
Wow.
15 yards from the end of the run. Automatic 1st down.
Willie Henry.
Wow, you got to keep your emotions in check. I mean, everybody gets you want to be fired up and all that. You have to be smart and hear the whistle. There's Willie Henry, number 69, who the flag is called on. Defense is doing a great job. I mean, come on, man.
Well, given how long they took to blow the whistle on Sione Homa's touchdown, when it looked like forward progress had been stopped, why would Henry or any other defender on either side assume the play is over until they're sure it's over? On to the 4th quarter we go. A typical great rivalry game between these two proud programs. Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by Cars.com on a brisk day in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Two of the top 12 teams in the country meeting for the 108th time, all time, but just the 17th time when both have been ranked in the top 25. Usually one is good or the other. This year they're both outstanding football teams. Those with Big Ten title aspirations, the hope of playing in the college football playoff. Michigan State, winners of 10 games in a row, the 4th longest winning streak in the country. Behind only Ohio State, TCU, and Memphis. Memphis won its 13th straight game today in the upset against Ole Miss. Connor Cook on 1st and 10, throws incomplete. It's Burbridge and Lewis, as they've been all day long, linked together.
That's two great players doing battle, and like I said, it's personal. And Lewis has done an outstanding job, especially against the fade stop. And what I love is he does not panic. He stays patient and trusts his training and gets his hands laid up to disrupt the concentration of Burbridge.
Michigan State has won 32 of its last 35 games. They've won a school record 11 straight Big Ten road games. Down by 6, batted down at the line of scrimmage. Willie Henry was called for that big personal foul a moment ago, helping to atone for that. 3rd and 10.
A good job of recognizing corner blitz by Connor Cook, going to his hot route. But again, like we saw Michigan State do, this time Willie Henry, knowing he's not getting there on the blitz, was able to get the big paw in there for the block shot. The rejection.
Big play call here for Dave Warner. He might have 2 plays to get the 10 yards, given their field goal troubles. It'll be about a 50-yarder into the wind here anyway.
He's going to beat man coverage.
Michigan brings blitz off the corner, down the middle, too high. It didn't look like Aaron Burbridge saw the ball coming.
It's the first time that they have not been on the same page. We saw this in Rutgers last week, where Aaron Burbridge's head is late. He's not seeing what Connor Cook is seeing. He sees the blitz coming from the right, understands he has the matchup to the left. It's just a missed time throw. There's the man beaters that Todd McShay talks about. Switch routes.
Saw Mark Dantonio holding up the fingers. He's going for it on 4th down. They're 0 for 2 on 4th down today, including that fake punt.
Man coverage again, Sean.
Pressure again, but Cook has time. Throws, dropped! It would have been a 1st down, but McGarrett Kings couldn't hang on.
Just a great job by Connor Cook there, just moving slightly in the pocket in order to buy some extra time. Found the open receiver, put it right where he had to, Chris.
You know what? These games, they come down to 5 or 6 plays.
Yep.
And rivalry games like this, McGarrett Kings had a chance to make a play. Now, as the coach, you tell him, guess what? This game is a lot of time left. We're going to come back to you. But you got to make a play when the play needs to be made. Your opportunity to shine.
And we talked about Cook and his leadership, not being named the captain. It's a pretty good time to go over, put your arm around him and say, hey, I'm coming back to you. Be ready.
That's beautiful. Maybe he learned some lessons.
Steve Spurrier here in Ann Arbor, never been to the big house, was looking forward to watching the game in person. There is the ball coach with his wife Jerry. 3rd down and 11. Rudock, another deep throw on target. Amara Darboh. Demetrius Cox had the coverage, but another long pass play given up in a key spot by the Spartans.
Yeah, you got to be aware of where you are in the field. Demetrius Cox takes his eyes off his guy that he is responsible for. Recognition by Darboh of sitting that route down in a zone. Jake Rudock thrown behind to settle him down with a big 1st down catch.
.24-yard gain. Again, they try the quick pop with the fullback, Joe Carriage.
You know, last week, Cox, number 7, the quarterback, was playing safety. They've had so many injuries in the secondary. Nobody in Michigan State's making any excuses. They're adjusting. They're moving guys around. But it's got to be tough on Cox going from the safety position to playing some man-to-man cover corner this week.
Yeah, well, he took his eyes off the receiver.
Right.
He thought he was going deep, and Darboh did a good job of settling that down. And Rudock threw him open, bringing him back to the football.
Play action pass for Jake Rudock on first down, and Shalik Calhoun there again. Trips him up back at the 44-yard line. And another huge third down play upcoming.
He's just a beast off the edge. I mean, when you have speed off the corner and you have long arms, that's the biggest fear factor an offensive tackle faces, no matter what level you're playing at. So he had 23.5 sacks. He's an amazing athlete on that corner.
Moved up to 5th all-time in Michigan State in sacks. Just a 3-man rush. Rudock zips one low. That's going to be ruled a catch by the official on the ball, but no catch from the official along the far sideline. Jake Butt telling his sideline he's sure he caught it. We just saw the same replay you saw on the big screen. The crowd thinks it was a catch.
I think it's a catch too. I think his hands are underneath the ball from that angle.
So the ball comes back to the line of scrimmage, the 44-yard line. They're not in field goal range. And on 4th and 9, the punting unit comes out. Can Blake O'Neill do it again? He's been phenomenal through 7 games this season, pinning the opponents inside the 10-yard line.
R.J. Shelton should do everything he can to catch this ball by reading the punter if he does the rugby style.
This time he punts it straight on. Shelton signaled for the fair catch, didn't catch it. Really didn't cost them any yardage as the ball bounced back toward the 8-yard line. During the break, John O'Neill corrected his mistake. The penalty was against Malik McDowell of Michigan State, and the ball's back on the 4-yard line. L.J. Scott just trying to get some room. He's yanked down by Royce Jenkins Stone. No gain on the play.
You know, lost in all of this, these two defensive fronts have just been like running into a brick wall. You've got Michigan with 70 rushing yards, Michigan State with 67. Both teams have had to go to the air to try to get some positive yards. Really impressive watching these defensive fronts for both the Wolverines and Spartans.
Yeah, it's old school, and they're both playing great football.
4 receivers and 2 bunches to either side. Connor Cook out of the end zone, throws short of a first down. R.J. Shelton wrestled to the boundary by Jabril Peppers.
The punting,
and a 3rd down for Michigan State. They'll need a little over 3 for a first down.
You know, the punting problems of Michigan State, Sean. This is a great chance for the Michigan defense to set up their offense by getting this stop. You have to be aggressive on defense. It's worked for you all day, and they are in man-to-man.
The blitz. Connor Cook dumps it off over the middle. Burbridge got tangled up with Jordan Lewis, but no flag on the play. And give this patchwork offensive line some credit. Even with the blitz coming there, they gave Cook time. He just couldn't complete it.
A good job by Jordan Lewis off the get-go of disrupting the timing of the route. Gets tripped and does not put his hands on him, but he is bumping him with his shoulder. But does not grab. Again, disciplined play. Now this is important. This is where Michigan State has struggled in the punting game.
They go back to the starter for most of the year, Jake Hartbarger, redshirt freshman. Short punt, fielded on the run by Jabril Peppers. Flag down, flag down. He's down at the 27-yard line, but there's a flag back at the 40.
There is no foul for a block in the back. The block in question was a legal block. First down.
A very difficult day, both on the field for the officials and in the replay booth. 7 replay stoppages. Well, even a field goal here is huge. It would make it a 2-score game. J.U. Chesson scored twice this year on jet sweeps, and a depth runner chopped down there by Grayson Miller.
Good job coming from his safety position. Played with his dad, Detroit. John Miller was an outstanding safety. Grayson, a true freshman, is playing tough today. That's the benefit of having safeties up close, because you get them in quick run support.
Michigan State, they like to redshirt the freshmen if they can. They started the year with 23 seniors, and plenty of them were fifth-year seniors. Rudock, his pass batted down to the line of scrimmage by Lawrence Thomas.
I don't know what Jake Rudock's doing. He's running into the pass rush. Take a look right here is Thomas. Jake is going to run right into the pass rush, taking away his own throwing lane. He had a throwing lane right there. He ran that way into the throwing lane.
Third down and 9. From here would be about a 44-yard field goal with the wind. Allen has the leg to do that. How about that formation?
Jabril Peppers in the slot down here to your screen.
And they throw it to Peppers in space, and he's going to be stopped about 2 yards short of the first down. Kari Willis, Chris Fry at the bottom of the pile with help from Monte Nicholson, and at least it makes it a shorter field goal for Kenny Allen. No hesitation from Jim Harbaugh. Beginning of the year, as we mentioned earlier, the field goal kicking was a big concern, but Harbaugh raved yesterday about the entire unit has done, especially Allen, who's 2 for 2 today, 9 out of 11 for the season. This is a 38-yard try. He's made his last 5. He's made his last 6. And it's a 2-score game, a 9-point lead for Michigan with 9:25 to go. Jim Harbaugh trying to beat the Spartans in his first head-to-head battle as coach. Kenny Allen kicks off for Michigan. Now the 9-point lead, and it's a touchback.
And I think that's by winning a national championship, maybe you get that benefit of the doubt. And I think Mark uses that as the building that chip on his shoulder.
Couple of fakes in the run game, and Cook has a wide open receiver. Trevin Pendleton, the fullback, off to the races inside the 20. Batted down from behind, but he's in for a touchdown. 75 yards for the fullback, Trevin Pendleton. Delano Hill tried to pop the ball out and knocked him down, and let's make sure this was a touchdown. It's never a sure thing today. Yes.
Absolutely a touchdown. Delano Hill did a good job of tracking him down. That's the good news. The bad news, that was his man.
It was a touchdown. That ruling is under further review.
And the 8th replay stoppage.
Further review. The runner was tackled short of the goal line.
Okay, so much
Ball be placed at the half-yard line. First and goal on the right hash. Clock will start and ready for play.
You see different things today. It's not honest. I'm not melting with the refs.
Nope.
You're seeing different things.
We've had very few games this season where the officiating in the replay booth has been an issue. I mean,
it's the front part of the goal line too. It's not the back part. It doesn't have to clear the whole line.
there's the knee down, I guess, is what he's saying, but I don't know how you can see his right knee down from that view.
It's bang, bang.
Left knee down. From that angle, you can't tell if he's over the goal line or not. They take the touchdown away, and it doesn't matter, except it cost a couple of seconds. L.J. Scott the touchdown. Of course, it's pending a review. Pretty sure this one will stand.
That's a champion's answer right there. Going down 2 possessions in the 4th quarter, you call a play that nobody expects, and you execute it perfectly.
It was a 74-yard gain for Pendleton, and it's the longest offensive play of the year for the Spartans. And L.J. Scott the touchdown. Michigan State's become one of the great football programs in the country under Mark Dantonio, and you're seeing an example of why. Winning as coach against Michigan in Michigan State history, Dantonio. Another squib kick by Kevin Cronin. And it's booted around, and Jabril Peppers and J.U. Chesson trying to get on a loose ball. It's free inside the 25-yard line.
That's the purpose of the squib kick. Right there.
Well, that and the fact that their coverage units conventionally have been terrible. Spartans convinced they have it. Mark Dantonio is as well. And the officials still don't know. Crucial decision here. They want to make sure they get it right. And there's probably a lengthy wrestling match going on for that ball. Michigan ball, they say.
I think J.U. Chesson is the one that comes up with it. It's right there between his legs. And that's a battle. And J.U., I've been on the bottom of those piles, and it's exhausting being in the bottom of that pile because you're holding on with every ounce of strength and energy you have to protect that football. And that's a great play and a salvage by J.U. Chesson.
Still not secure for a while. And then it looks like he scoops it in. 1st and 10 from the 20. Ron Higdon, the freshman, in there at crunch time for Jim Harbaugh, and he just tripped over his own feet for a 1-yard gain.
No, he shouldn't be in there. Davion Smith should be in the ball game in crunch time. I mean, he's young. His feet got ahead of his brain. Put your Warhorse in there in Warhorse time. It's Warhorse time. 6 minutes to go.
Higdon has better speed. Perhaps they had a play that they thought might go a long way. It went for 1 yard. Approaching 6 minutes to go. Jake Rudock steps up, deep throw, man open, too long for J.U. Chesson. He got behind the true freshman Kari Willis, and Rudock couldn't hit him.
This is where he struggled all year on the deep ball. Earlier in the ball game, we saw that he was short. J.U. Chesson has separation. Just Jake did not put enough air under it.
They're set up perfectly too. They motioned over Williams, the tight end, got him in position to help with the pass rush with Calhoun, and he did a really good job getting in position initially. Wasn't able to sustain and took his hands off, so he didn't get a hold of it.
Michigan 4 out of 13 on 3rd down. That pass is batted away up in the air. It comes back to Rudock, who gets wrestled to the ground well short of the 1st down. I believe the original pass was intended for Amara Darboh, and it hit him. And then Karen back toward the line of scrimmage.
And you know, Jake throws the fastball, and again he recognizes the man coverage, and Darboh, the ball is there but it's fast, and Jake Rudock, avoiding disaster to help with field position, at least catches the football and brings it in.
The crowd thought that Rudock was roughed up at the end of the play. Demetrius Cox had the coverage on Darboh. 5 minutes to go. 2nd straight 3 and out. Michigan State rising up on defense. Blake O'Neal's been one of the stars of the day, the Michigan punter. Another good one, and a fair catch made by R.J. Shelton. 4:54 to go. 1st and 5 opens up. A lot of options in this playbook. 4-man rush. Cook running out of time, spins away and then goes down. And his ability to stay on his feet hurt him as he lost additional yardage. Willie Henry, the first pressure, and then Ryan Glasgow finished him off.
Make amends, Willie. Right there, coming off the top as an inside tackle. They run a little stunt. They lose him on a stunt, Todd, and he's able to knock him enough off balance.
The routes were just a little late to develop. Again, the Michigan corners doing a pretty good job getting their hands on these receivers and rerouting them a little bit early.
Loss of 10 on the play. 2nd and 15. Spartans from their own 23. 4:10 to go. Here comes the rush again. Cook floats one. Caught! Burbridge again. Lewis on him again. 1st down, Michigan State. 48-yard line.
I've got no complaints with Lewis, and Burbridge makes a great play, but an even better throw. And every time he's hit Burbridge on the fade, he's always thrown it to the back shoulder, which is the perfect placement where his guy gets it or nobody gets it as they go tempo after the big gain.
26-yard gain, 9th catch for Burbridge. Gerald Holmes gets him ahead for 2 to the 50. Desmond Morgan the tackle. Burbridge today 9 catches for 132. He's been targeted 17 times. Well, he's won his fair share, but Lewis has won his battles as well. It's the 5th 100-yard game of the season for Burbridge, and this their 7th game of the year.
And they talked about the importance of their offense, of them winning the 50-50 balls. Well, they're winning the 50-50 balls in crucial times.
As they did at crunch time against Rutgers last week. Wolverines rush only 3, still put heat on Cook, and got it off close to a first down. The catch made by Josiah Price, the tight end, at the 43. It'll be 3rd down and 1. First catch of the day for Price, and the clock will roll under 3 minutes to go.
Here's what you do if you're Michigan. In order to cover yourself on the run, you have a blitz. You trust your corners to make a play. You trust your man-to-man defense. That's what you live on. But do what you do best. You have to come with the blitz, take away the running lanes, play man-to-man on the outside.
Michigan State 50% for the year on 3rd down, just 2 out of 10 today against the best 3rd down defense in the country. Michigan blitzes, and it's a first down. Gerald Holmes struggles to the 36, but got there. Matthew Godin, the tackle. 2:30 to go. It's John Baxter, the special teams coach. Michael Geiger, the field goal kickers, had a rough year, but coming into this season, he had been their kicker the previous 2 years and had made 76% of his kicks the last 2 years. He's better than he's shown this year. It might come down to him. 2:10 to go. Cook in trouble and hangs on, but goes down back at the 45. Willie Henry and Royce Jenkins Stone get to the quarterback.
Well, again, this time it's just Willie Henry who beats Brian Allen on a quick swim move. Brian Allen ducks his head. When you duck your head, it's like man-to-man coverage. You're going to lose your guy who you're responsible for.
It's really only Henry. Jenkins Stone wound up there for the celebration. And Ben Gideon as well. 3rd sack for Willie Henry. He's had an up and down day, and a timeout has been called.
Not a bad time for a screen here.
Michigan. 3-man rush down to the sideline and over the head of Aaron Burbridge. Jordan Lewis in coverage. 1:59 to go. 2 timeouts for each side. 3rd down and 19. And that's the field goal kicker, Geiger. And I think Mark Dantonio wants to know exactly where he'd feel comfortable, where he'd like the ball. But they're a little bit away from that part of the process. Not in field goal range right now. Geiger's career long is 49. Michigan State going into about a 10-mile-per-hour breeze. Three-man rush again. Cook throws, and it's batted away. Lewis wins that battle with Burbridge.
Does a really good job of being exactly where Cook expects him to be. Goes up and attacks the ball. Problem is that Lewis, the cornerback, once again has his hands exactly where they're supposed to be. When you're not looking back at the quarterback, you have to trust when you read the receiver's eyes, the technique that you have, and it's been drilled in, and he's been doing it all day long.
This could be it. 3-man rush, and Henry gets pressure again. Cook had to scramble, just lofts it up, and it is batted down. Channing Stribling and DeMonte Thomas. They're trying to get it to Kings. Michigan State 0 for 4 on 4th down.
Well, exactly what we thought. Willie Henry is beating him with speed off the edge, forces Connor Cook to run. Then you see Maurice Hurst coming in to finish him off. Great angles by the Michigan secondary to knock that down by Thomas and Stribling. Execution under pressure by the Wolverines.
And he was actually open. He had the receiver open early on. It's just that the pressure took away his ability, Cook's ability to step into his throw and drive it down the field.
If you can't protect the 3-man pressure with 5 guys, it's tough to win a football game, especially in a crucial situation.
That was the difference there, Chris.
You don't need to rush more than 3 with the pressure they were getting with 3. Willie Henry, a standout here at the end of the game. Only one timeout left for the Spartans. They're trying to strip Davion Smith. And they use the timeout with 1:42 to go.
These are two really good football teams. They're both physical. And Mark Dantonio will have his team back ready to go. They're competitors, and Jim Harbaugh has turned the tide. And the big difference with Jim Harbaugh, Sean, is that he gets the most out of every guy. That's why he's a great football coach. Brady Hoke brought all these guys in, and Jim utilizes it. This is why he do that. And here's the thing, is Desmond's happy. Is the one thing this team has that's different. The biggest difference in this team from last year to this year is a genuine confidence, not a false bravado, a genuine confidence.
And it comes from having success. You know, last year they were waiting for the inevitable bad thing to happen, usually a turnover. They were at the bottom of the country, very close to the very bottom in turnover margin. Davion Smith tackled by John Reschke. Now they have emerged not only as a legitimate contender in the Big Ten. If this one goes in the win column, they'll be 3-0 in the Big Ten East. To Minnesota next, Rutgers, Indiana, Penn State, and then the rivalry game with Ohio State. You'd have to love their chances in the next four. And part of the reason Michigan State's recruiting improved in recent years, there are a lot of reasons why, is the belief among many recruits that Michigan rather, was down and not showing signs of getting back up. And today was, don't you think, for a lot of people around the country, the test. No offense to BYU and Northwestern, they were both ranked teams. It still remains to be seen as the year goes along how good they are. There's no doubt Michigan State is an outstanding team and has been for a long time.
Yeah, well, it's a huge test for them. And when I look at it, I mean, we saw BYU. I thought they were really good because of what they do defensively and the pass rush, and offensively they've had their issues and challenges. But what I've seen most about this offense, from the loss to Utah to Oregon State to BYU, is the constant improvement of the offensive line. And if they can continue to improve, that's how this team is built, and they protected the football today.
The turnovers really hurt them in the 7-point loss at Utah as well. 10 seconds to go. 4th and 2. And Jim Harbaugh has to decide what he wants to do here. O'Neill's been terrific with the rugby style punts. But you have to be careful here. Make sure the snap's on target. Which you can't allow a block, and there's nobody back deep for Michigan State. I was going to say you might want to kick it out of bounds to prevent a return, but with nobody back there, just kick it down the field.
Tell your punter to one-step it. Don't take your normal steps. One-step it. Get it out.
Whoa! He has trouble with the snap, and the ball is free. It's picked up by Michigan State's Jalen Watts Jackson, and he scores on the last play of the game. Unbelievable! Michigan State is still the big boy on the block in the state of Michigan. A shocking ending to this rivalry game. And just when it looked like Michigan had made a number of statements regarding what's going on in the state, the Big Ten race, its position nationally, this happens. Mark Dantonio said the only important thing is to win. We haven't been winning pretty, but we keep finding a way to win. Kings, who had a couple of drops, overcome with the emotion. And they found the most improbable way to win today. There's a couple of questions now on this play. Most notably, did he stay in bounds?
Bounds right there. Good blocking downfield.
No question about that. He's way in bounds. And did he score? Yes, he did. And the clock did expire. 38 yards. O'Neal, who's been terrific all season long in his first year at Michigan, all he had to do was handle the snap and get it off, and he could not.
Well, it almost looked like Shawnee started his rugby-style punt before he caught the football to secure it. Definitely a touchdown.
Thank goodness, clearly across the goal line before his knee went down.
You got to believe, I guess. You know, we kept talking about just being mentally strong, just keep playing. We put 11 men up on the last one, and they muffed the punt, and we scooped it. But unbelievable, unbelievable. Great environment. Michigan played a great game. It's a great football game tonight.
Walk me through just your mentality, your thoughts on that last play. What's going through your mind?
When he muffed it, same thing was going through yours. He muffed it, and I couldn't believe it. I thought we were going to fall on it, maybe have a chance for a kick, but if the clock ran out or not, and we scooped it.
Obviously a great game. There's so many different storylines, but your quarterback, Connor Cook, just from my vantage point, just a lot of toughness, hanging in there, taking big hits and making big-time throws. What were your thoughts on the way he played?
Played outstanding, made big plays all night long, you know, and I can't say enough about our football team. Just tremendous effort and a great football game, but tremendous effort by our guy. We just believed it. You know, we just came in here with something that we felt like we had to prove, and I don't know, you know, I guess we won on a crazy play, but we played hard with conviction, and that's what I asked our guys to do.
What's this win mean for your program?
Hey, we're 7-0. We advance. That's what it means. That's in the big picture. Our dreams are still alive.
Thanks, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Jalen Watts-Jackson, backup defensive back, predominantly a special teams player, sophomore from Dearborn, Michigan. I'm sure there are a number of Spartan fans who had never heard of him. He is now a Michigan State legend and in the history books of this rivalry forever.
Champions die hard. Michigan State champions, tough, aggressive, great football game.
Game's first turnover comes in the final 10 seconds. Michigan State retains the Paul Bunyan Trophy.